Thank you very much, Ranking Member Westerman. And I wondered if Paul Ulrich, if Paul is still on, I wanted to get your thoughts in particular. If you could give us some more specifics about the impact of the increased royalty rates, increased bonding amounts, the leasing moratorium, really what specific impact that has with respect to uncertainty and reticence on the part of producers, in particular, natural gas operators and oil operators, to invest in development on federal lands. Just give us some sense of, particularly for a state like Wyoming, what that's likely to mean if we see these policies continue in place.
Congresswoman Cheney, thanks for the question. That's near and dear to all of us in Wyoming. Simply put, any significant increase or change in royalty rates, cost of doing business from a regulatory perspective could be devastating. To put it frankly, Wyoming and federal land production is already at a competitive disadvantage. It takes us longer to get permits, through a myriad of NEPA processes, throughout the years. You can see large projects that could take 12 to 18 months to get stood up in a private circumstance. Takes 7 to 10 years in Wyoming. I've experienced more than a few of them. Congresswoman, you're very well versed on a couple of them. So bottom line is it's more expensive. It takes longer to compete from a Wyoming federal land perspective. So anytime that cost is raised and timelines aren't shrunk, it could have very, very significant impacts on capital deployment. In addition to that, if we do see regulatory or policy changes that once again only target federal operators and raise the cost of us doing business, and employing in responding to those regulations, it could have that equal and negative impact as well. Economically, it's very, very difficult for us to compete. We're further from market for sand and pipe. It's more expensive. It takes longer for us to get permits, and anything that negatively impacts that makes it worse. We'd like to see that trend change and go the opposite direction, given how responsible we can produce energy in this country.
Well, thank you for that. And given that we're in this unfortunate situation where we know we're going to have bad policies continue to come out of the Biden administration on these issues, can you give us some advice about steps Congress can take, at least in the near term, to create some more certainty for the industry, particularly when it comes to exploration and development on public lands?
Absolutely. First and foremost, status quo on royalty rates, et cetera, is a major issue for us. Working with the administration to solidify a longer-term energy strategy that recognizes how important federal land development is, and incentivizing development on federal land so we can be more competitive domestically, and just as importantly, more competitive globally. We have a tremendous opportunity to export the cleanest natural gas on the planet. We're developing that right here in Wyoming. The ability to export that and compete on a global level and meet climate goals is a serious opportunity for federal land producers we should not pass up.
Well, I appreciate that, and really appreciate the leadership role that you've taken for us, and that can be a real model for the country. And thank you for the time today, and thanks very much both to Ranking Member Westerman and Chairman Newhouse for putting on these really important panels and sessions on these key issues. And with that, I will yield back. Thank you.